How did the Cold War affect world politics? The world prayed for peace when World War II concluded in 1945. Instead, it entered a new sort of conflict, one that was waged with ideas, persuasion, and fear rather than guns. The Cold War lasted for almost 45 years and pitted the US and the USSR against each other as superpowers. Unlike traditional battles, the Cold War was not fought on battlefields. It was an ideological conflict between democracy and dictatorship, capitalism and communist, and freedom and control. Both sides sought to make their systems known as much as possible.
The division of the world. The first major consequence of the Cold War was the partition of the world. The world was divided into two blocks. The U.S. and its allies, which include the UK, France, and NATO countries, are in charge of the Western Bloc. The Soviet-controlled Eastern Bloc, which included communist nations like Poland and East Germany. Politics, economy, and even culture were influenced by this division. Walls were built, both literally and figuratively. The Berlin Wall, which separated East and West Berlin and became the symbol of the tension of the Cold War, is the most famous.
Military alliances and the arms race. The arms race was another significant impact. Both the Soviet Union and the United States invested enormous sums of money in creating nuclear weapons. The thought that if one side attacked, the other would retaliate, eliminating both, gave rise to the horrifying notion of mutually assured destruction. Both sides formed alliances to bolster their positions. Under American leadership, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was established in 1949. The Soviet Union-led Warsaw Pact in 1955. Smaller nations were forced to pick a side as a result of these alliances, which influenced world politics for decades.
Proxy wars and international impact. Not everyone found the Cold War to be cold. It led to proxy wars, which were conflicts in other countries in which the USSR and the US backed opposing parties. Among the examples are Korea's conflict, 1950-1953, War in Vietnam, 1955-1975, Afghanistan's invasion by the Soviet Union in 1979. Millions were killed in these conflicts, which also influenced political boundaries for many years. The space race, the USSR's Sputnik satellite launch, and America's moon landing in 1969 are examples of the superpowers' competition in space, technology, and propaganda.
The end of the Cold War and its impact. The Soviet system was beginning to deteriorate by the late 1980s. Political changes like Mikhail Gorbachev's perestroika and glasnost, economic hardships, and the fall of communist regimes across Europe all contributed to the end of the Cold War. With the official dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, the United States emerged as the sole superpower. But the consequences of the Cold War continued. They left behind nuclear weapons, a divided world, and fierce political rivalries that still influence international relations today, from the tensions between the US and Russia to NATO's continued importance in global security.
Even though the Cold War is over, its legacy continues to influence our world. Every political coalition, international dispute, and even the current distribution of power has the scars of a war that was never fought, yet profoundly altered humankind.